Hello there, my name is Taylor and I'm the Director of Ecosystem at Elgato. Today I have the pleasure of welcoming you to a Maker Town Hall that we are very excited about. The team has been hard at work on a variety of items geared towards improving the overall Maker experience that we can't wait for you to get your hands on. I'll go ahead and start by thanking you all for your continued feedback, engagement, and support as we work to make our ecosystem friendlier to build for. Please know that we take your opinions very seriously, and a lot of what you'll see today is directly born from your feedback. We like to pride ourselves on being a solution-oriented company and will continue to listen and drive our roadmap accordingly based off of your experiences. With that being said, we have a lot of exciting topics to cover today. I'll start us off by sharing a bit more about our vision for Stream Deck and the role you as makers play within it. Richard Herman, our technical lead for the Stream Deck developer experience, will walk through our brand new SDK and all the exciting things that come with it. Roman, a senior member of our mobile team, will be providing an overview of how to integrate Stream Deck into your iPad app. Jared Rowe, our product innovation manager, will unveil our new OBS deep linking protocol and what this means for streamers and creators. And finally, Caleb will close things out by providing updates related to our Maker console and how it will help streamline asset submission. Thank you again for spending some time with us today, and without further ado, let's jump in. I'm going to kick things off today by sharing a little insight into our vision for Stream Deck. Since the invention of the computer, the mouse and keyboard have been our primary tools for navigating the digital landscape. They've served us well, but as software grows increasingly complex and our expectations evolve, it's becoming clear that a new approach is needed. We're entering an era where computers are expected to anticipate our needs rather than the other way around. It's time to consider a more intuitive and efficient way to interact with our technology moving forward. It is our belief that Stream Deck is the way and is the third input device of the future, being spoken about in the same breath as a mouse and keyboard. Mouse, keyboard, Stream Deck. Over the past few years, there are several product philosophies we have been heavily investing in to make this vision a reality. Namely, a lot of these investments have been focused on improving and empowering the Maker experience as it relates to our ecosystem. Let me explain. Firstly, we've been working on providing many ways to interact with Stream Deck. While the original hardware was 15 keys and sits on your desk, there are now several ways to integrate Stream Deck into whatever workflow you are performing. This includes adding dial inputs with the Stream Deck Plus, the ability to control Stream Deck with your feet via the Stream Deck pedal, a free mobile app for phones and tablets across iOS and Android, powerful enterprise production functionality with Stream Deck Studio, G keys on the Corsair keyboards, G keys on the SCUF controllers, and new form factors coming soon. It is important to us that no matter where you are or what your desired use case is, there is a path to the Stream Deck ecosystem for you. This approach also helps us address the many different individual pain points that exist across our customer base. Secondly, there's been a large technical investment on our part to make it easier to build for Stream Deck. It is our belief that by making Stream Deck easy to build for, you as makers can focus on adding value to your users and worry less about technical complexity. This includes the launching of our new Marketplace, and with it, the Maker console, a complete rework of our Stream Deck SDK and documentation, a toolkit for integrating Stream Deck into your iPad app, and DRM and Maker resources coming soon. A lot of these investments you'll be hearing about today, and while my esteemed colleagues will deep dive individually on what each means, know that this is all part of a larger strategy to make the device as friendly as possible to build for. Lastly, and arguably most importantly, is ensuring Stream Deck becomes an essential part of customers' commonly used workflows. This is where we continue to be humbled and awed by what you as a community are building. By publishing plugins, profiles, and other assets for Stream Deck, you as makers make the device relevant, personal, and valuable to the end customers. Whether it's muting your mic in Zoom, switching scenes in OBS, or routing 911 calls to dispatchers, the more customers rely on Stream Deck to simplify their workflows, the stickier the product becomes. This is where the power of you as makers come into play, and the reason we have spent the better part of 2 years actively building tools to set you up for success. If we continue to make Stream Deck more accessible, reduce complexity to build for it, and work to support you in building unique integrations that solve real problems for customers, that we can achieve our vision of Stream Deck being spoken alongside necessary input devices like the mouse and keyboard. With that, I think now is a good time to learn more about how Richard and the team have reworked our SDK with your feedback in mind.
Thanks, Taylor. Today I'm excited to be telling you more about Stream Deck SDK. Before we dive into what's new with Stream Deck SDK, let's learn a bit more about its history. First released in 2019 as part of Stream Deck version 4, the Stream Deck SDK has been used by more than 350 of our makers to create over 370 different Stream Deck plugins. All of these plugins are available today on Marketplace, and in total have been downloaded over 7.5 million times, reaching more than 1.3 million Stream Deck users. We're incredibly proud of everything our makers have achieved, and we're really excited for this next chapter of Stream Deck SDK. Now let's look a bit more towards the present. Over the past year, we've been improving the Stream Deck SDK. This started with the announcement of Node.js support in October 2023. Alongside this announcement, we released the first beta version of our Node.js Stream Deck SDK. Under the hood, the Node.js Stream Deck SDK is written in TypeScript, providing you with auto-completion, making it easy to discover new features, and offers compile-time type checking so you can build with confidence. In addition to the Node.js Stream Deck SDK, we released the first beta version of our Maker command line interface, or Maker CLI for short. Designed to be your utility belt for building with Stream Deck, the Maker CLI offers easily accessible functionality for creating, testing, and bundling your plugins ready for Marketplace. Earlier this year, we also released JSON schemas to support working with configuration files. These JSON schemas provide IntelliSense and validation for both the manifest and layout files, meaning you can build faster. As we continue to improve the Node.js Stream Deck SDK and Maker CLI, we wanted to give them more meaningful names. With this in mind, we're renaming the Node.js Stream Deck SDK to be Stream Deck SDK and the Maker CLI to be Stream Deck CLI. I'm also happy to announce that from today, we're moving the Stream Deck SDK out of beta into version 1, making it production ready. Now let's see everything in action. Let's start by installing the Stream Deck CLI. Once installed, I can run the Stream Deck command to see what commands are available. The command I'm interested in here is the Stream Deck create command. This command will guide me through the Stream Deck plugin creation wizard. Once I'm happy with the information, the creation wizard will scaffold a new Stream Deck plugin for me and set up my development environment. I'll then be asked if I want to open my plugin within VS Code. In VS Code, I'll open a terminal and run npm run watch. This will watch for any changes I make to my plugin and reload them instantly within Stream Deck. We can see I now have my action within Stream Deck. Each time I press the key down, a count increases. I also have an option to change how much the counter increases by adjusting the increment size. Here I can now see it's increasing by 5. Now let's learn a bit more about the structure of our plugin. Every plugin has a .sd plugin directory that contains everything that Stream Deck needs to run a plugin. The compiled TypeScript files, all of the image assets, my log entries in case I need to diagnose something, and also my UI directory that contains my property inspectors. The manifest.json file contains all of our metadata associated with our plugin. In addition to these files, we also have our source directory that contains all of our TypeScript files. The plugin.ts file is our entry point. As part of the default plugin, we're setting the log level, registering our action, and then connecting to Stream Deck. Now let's learn more about our actions. Each action extends the singleton action class within the SDK that enables us to override methods and listen for events. In this case, we're listening to 2 events, the on will appear and on key down. The on will appear occurs when a key becomes visible on the Stream Deck canvas. In this case, we're setting the title, which is the current count. In the on key down, we're reading the payload settings to determine how much to increment the count by. We're then incrementing the count before finally saving the settings back to the action and then updating the action's title. Now let's create a new action. I'm going to first start by creating a new file and then exporting a class that extends from the singleton action class in the SDK. I'm then going to assign a unique identifier so Stream Deck can identify my action. I want my action to show a different image each time I press the key, so I'm going to override the on key down event. As I'll be working with requests, I need to make my function asynchronous. I'm going to start by first requesting the image. Then I'm going to convert the response to a buffer. And convert the buffer to a base 64 encoded string. Finally, I want to show my image on my key. I can do this by accessing the action that triggered the event and calling .setImage. Now that my action is set up, I'm going to copy my unique identifier that I defined earlier. I'll need this in a moment. I'm then going to go into my entry file and I'm going to register my new action. Saving in the plugin, I can see that the hot reload has kicked in and has restarted the plugin within Stream Deck, but I still can't see the action. That's because I need to make sure that I'm defining the metadata for my action within the manifest. Let's define some metadata now. I'm going to first give it a name, and then I'm going to use the unique identifier I copied from my class earlier. I also need to define an icon that shows up in the action list within Stream Deck. In this case, I'm going to reuse the counter icon. Finally, I'll define the default icon shown to a user when they drag the action onto the Stream Deck canvas. Saving my changes, I can see the plugin is reloading again, and this time I've got my new action. Let's see what it does. Pressing my action, I can see that I'm getting a different image of a cat every time. Perfect. Exactly what I wanted. Now that we've seen the Stream Deck SDK in action, I'm happy to announce we're also releasing our brand new documentation. We've restructured our documentation from the ground up, which now includes guides and examples for working with the Stream Deck SDK, as well as an improved Getting Started guide. There's also a new collection of documentation to support our growing Stream Deck CLI functionality. Under the hood, the documentation is generated directly from Stream Deck SDK, meaning it's always up to date. We've also introduced type checking for code snippets, meaning if a code snippet doesn't work, it won't go live. This means you can learn with confidence, knowing that every code snippet just works. Over time, we'll be adding new sections and guides to the documentation to support new functionality introduced to the Stream Deck SDK. We also understand that some prefer to learn through code, and with this in mind, we've created a collection of plugin samples to demonstrate everything the Stream Deck SDK has to offer. These are available today on our GitHub. Now let's look more towards the future. We are so excited for the future of Stream Deck SDK and have a lot of awesome things planned. Early next year, we'll be releasing our first ever Stream Deck UI library. This library will contain an array of UI components for building beautiful property inspectors within Stream Deck. We're also working on DRM protection to help you protect your intellectual property as a maker. Finally, we recognize that sending an email each time you want to update your plugin isn't a good experience. I'm thrilled to announce we're updating how you submit, manage, and publish your plugins to Marketplace with the release of Maker Console.
We believe innovation lies in enabling streamlined workflows that redefine user experiences. For years, Stream Deck has been beloved by desktop users for its versatility and ease of use. That's why we're excited to bring the power of Stream Deck to iPad for the very first time by introducing Stream Deck Kit and opening a world of possibilities for new users. Stream Deck Kit is Elgato's open source SDK that empowers developers to seamlessly integrate Stream Deck support into their own iPad apps. With Stream Deck Kit, you gain full control over the Stream Deck's capabilities while your app is in the foreground. Whether you're triggering in-app actions, navigating menus, or launching functions, the possibilities are endless. Here's Stream Deck Kit in action with the Elgato Capture app for iPad, where the main functions of the app are seamlessly usable from a connected Stream Deck Plus. With Stream Deck Kit integrated into Elgato Capture, users can control key features right from their Stream Deck. From adjusting the video format, selecting the video and audio input, adjusting the volume to changing the app's appearance, everything is at your fingertips, providing a smooth and efficient workflow. This comes especially handy when moving to full screen mode. With your gameplay in focus, you can now monitor your setup with a glance at the audio meter, the current FPS, and your storage capacity. And when you're done, save your recording with one key press. Stream Deck Kit enhances the user experience, making tasks in your app easier and more intuitive. Backed by comprehensive documentation and examples, integrating Stream Deck support into your iPad app is easy. Unlike the centralized hub approach on desktop, Stream Deck for iPad SDK ensures a seamless plug-and-play experience on iPad OS. Your app takes control when it's in the foreground, dictating the appearance and functions of the Stream Deck device. Here's how it works. Users download the Elgato Stream Deck Connect app from the App Store, which is needed to install the Stream Deck driver on their iPad, and activate the driver within iPad OS settings. Once set up, they're ready to use their Stream Decks with any iPad OS application that integrates the Stream Deck for iPad SDK. Stream Decks can be connected directly to the iPad's USB-C port or via a powered USB hub, giving users flexibility in their setup. Imagine the possibilities for your app with Stream Deck. We're excited to see how you'll use Stream Deck Kit.
To display keys and handle actions on a Stream Deck, you simply need to create a SwiftUI view and let Stream Deck Kit render it. Let's see how to do that by integrating Stream Deck Kit into the Elgato Capture app for iPad. With it, we will be able to start and stop recording, as well as toggling the full screen mode of the app. So, here we are in an empty file of the Capture app. At this point, we have already added Stream Deck Kit as a dependency via Swift Package Manager. We start by importing the SDK as well as SwiftUI and create a new view, My Stream Deck Layout. As body of the view, we are adding a Stream Deck Layout view which needs a content block for the Stream Deck's key area. We provide a Stream Deck key area layout as content. This one takes a block that will be called for every key on the deck to provide its content. It gives us the index of the key as a parameter. Let's just ignore the index for now and return a random color for each key. That's our first basic layout. It doesn't do anything but display the colorful buttons. But how can we check if what we build is working? Let's create a SwiftUI preview to check it. Therefore, we import the Stream Deck simulator. Its preview view provides us with a dummy device where we can render our layout on. When we now open the preview panel in Xcode, the project will build and show us a live view of what we've built. Looks nice, right? Okay, but we want some actual functionality here. So let's create a new view named Recording Key. This key should toggle recording in the app, so we need to get a reference to the recording manager first. As body, we provide a Stream Deck key view. This one, aside from the key content, requires an action block that will be called when the key is pressed. In our case, the action will be recordingmanager.toggleRecording. I want the content of the key to be either a red circle when idling or a white square with red background when recording. So we will add a condition on the recording state and then implement both cases, the rectangle and the circle. We are done here and can now add our key to the layout. As we only need one recording key, we will wrap it in a switch statement on the key index and then return it on index number 2. On every other key, we will just return a black color. This works in the preview, but we still need to make Stream Deck Kit aware of our layout. Therefore, we are going to the main app file and import Stream Deck Kit. To begin handling Stream Deck devices, we need to call the setup method of the Stream Deck session once during the application runtime. The init method of the app is a good location for that. Setup takes a handler that will notify us every time a new Stream Deck appears. We can then just render our layout on the device as we already did in the preview earlier. Okay, now let's run the app and see if this works. Nice. The button is displayed on the Stream Deck as promised in the preview. So let's press it. As you can see, we can now start and stop the recording from our Stream Deck. We did a working Stream Deck integration in just a few minutes. Cool. But what if we want to test our implementation on devices that we do not possess? We can use Stream Deck Simulator for that. Let me show you how. First, let's add another button to our layout. We create a new view with another Stream Deck key view as its body. This one should trigger the full screen mode. So we need to get a reference to Full Screen Manager. And then we add the key to the switch statement for key number 3. Now we head back to the app file and import Stream Deck Simulator. We add a floating button to our main scene and set its action to Stream Deck Simulator.show. And that's it. Let's run the app again. We can see our 2 buttons on the Stream Deck, as well as the simulator button on the iPad. When we press it, we get another deck in a floating window on the iPad. It's fully functional and can be moved or resized. We can select any existing Stream Deck and check our implementation on it. It even works without the driver installed. And you can also launch this simulator inside the iOS simulator. So these are the basics of Stream Deck Kit for iPad. Of course, there's a lot more you can do with it, like animations, full screen backgrounds, or handling touch displays and dials. We are excited to see how you will use it in your own apps. Visit docs.elgato.com to get started.
Hello makers, Jared here. I'm the Product Innovation Manager for Elgato Marketplace. Today, I'm thrilled to introduce a major update to Marketplace that expands our ecosystem and opens up new possibilities for streamers, creators, and you, our talented makers. We're officially welcoming OBS to the Elgato Marketplace with the launch of the OBS Deep Link plugin. This plugin offers the same level of seamless support and instant installation that we currently provide for Stream Deck and Wavelink. This is an exciting milestone for us. And to celebrate, we're unveiling an entirely new product category specifically for OBS. This includes subcategories that will shape the future of streaming content since it's directly within OBS, such as scene collections, counters, replays, and supers. Let me walk you through what makes each one of these subcategories special and how they empower creators and streamers to elevate their content with ease. First up, scene collections. These are pre-built OBS scenes, complete with assets, plugins, and macros, all neatly packaged and deep linked for instant installation within OBS. Just a few clicks and everything is set up, no extra configuration required. Whether you're creating high-energy gaming streams or polished professional content, scene collections make it effortless for creators to launch their content quickly and efficiently. Next, we have counters. These are on-screen counters that track wins, losses, streaks, and any other stat that streamers need to track in real time. Streamers can control these counters with hotkeys or Stream Deck, making them easy to trigger during live streams. Whether it's detailed win-loss trackers or fun behavior counters like the curse counter or an undo counter, counters offer an endless design and animation possibilities that are fully customizable. Plus, our documentation and framework make creating and publishing your own counters easier than ever. Now let's talk about supers. Supers are on-screen graphics like lower thirds, callouts, CTAs, and animated titles. What's exciting here is the full customization right inside of OBS. No need for external rendering or video software or other tools. Streamers can change text, colors, and placeholder images directly within OBS, all in real time. From memes to on-screen emotes to serious lower thirds, Supers brings a new level of creativity and functionality for streamers. And finally, We're thrilled to announce replays. Streamers can now trigger instant replays with the press of a hotkey or through Stream Deck, bringing viewers back to those epic moments with ease. These replays aren't just simple video loops. They're customizable with animations, colors, text overlays, and more. Whether it's a full screen instant replay or a small highlight within an overlay, the flexibility and design control replays offer will take content to a whole new level. Now for the most exciting part, the OBS Deep Link Protocol. Within this plugin, streamers can now export their scene collections with all the settings, plugins, scripts, and macros intact. This isn't just a game changer for creators starting out, it's going to make everyone's lives easier. All it takes is a single click to install it and you're ready to go. Today, we're launching early access to the OBS Deep Link plugin for all makers. You'll be able to use our new Deep Link export wizard to export your scene collections, making them Deep Link ready for the marketplace. To showcase just how powerful this tool is, let's check out this video we've prepared. Before we wrap up, let me remind you that alongside the OBS plugin launch, we're also releasing detailed frameworks, documentation, and walkthrough videos for creating counters, supers, and replays. This is all available right now on docs.elgato.com, so you can start creating your very own incredible digital products today. The marketplace is evolving, and it's because of you, the makers, who continue to push the limits and create next-level experiences for streamers. We can't wait to see what you come up with. Now let's dive even deeper into the Maker console with Caleb, our product owner of Elgato Marketplace. Take it away, Caleb.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for taking the time out of your day to join us. I'm excited to share what our team has been cooking up on the Maker console with you today. But before we dive in, I want to acknowledge the incredible effort our team has put into making this all possible. We've been working tirelessly to create a platform that streamlines your experience as makers. So join me in finally saying goodbye to the days of having to email us or use forms when you want to submit new product updates or new products in general for the marketplace. And please, folks, hold all applause until the end. In all seriousness, though, the Maker console is the result of our commitment to making your lives easier and more productive. Our work here is not complete just yet, but I think you'll like what we have in store for you today. Maker Console is the newest tool we're adding to improve the overall Maker experience. It's designed to streamline the entire product submission process. And we think it's a one-stop solution for makers to sign up, manage their submissions, and track review statuses efficiently. Okay, so let's get into what's changed since the last town hall. We've revamped the entire onboarding experience to make it even smoother for new makers. And if anyone here has been manually onboarded to Stripe with us in the past, you know how much of a pain the 5-minute expiring links have been. And we've also added support for Stream Deck icon packs and plugins. Profiles will be the next product type that gets added very soon. And from Jared's updates earlier, OBS assets will be added after profiles. You can now manage your product listings more effectively and, well, directly on the console. On the right side here, you can see what my current view looks like with a few of the products that I've shared on the marketplace, but more on this in a minute. We've improved the handling of text, media, and metadata to guide you through how it'll be displayed to a customer directly. And lastly, we've improved and implemented the ability to switch between different maker profiles. To give you a better idea of these improvements, let me show you as well. So let's go ahead and take a look here. Accessing the Maker Console is very similar to signing up or signing into the marketplace. So I'm going to go ahead and use my trusty Google account where my products are linked already. Once you're signed in, you'll be greeted with this home page or this dashboard view. Plan to add much more useful content here. Be sure to let us know what you'd like to see next. You also just saw how easily I can switch between Maker profiles, and this is what it looks like for someone who's already onboarded, but Elgato, we really need to get updated with the spiffy new profile picture. Now let's kind of take a look at what it looks like in the products view. You can also see at the top here where you can filter by available products or even the status of the submission. And our menu here is quite large since we have uploaded so many products here on the marketplace under this Elgato profile. And you can click on an existing product to make tweaks to the description. You can even rearrange the order of the additional links, double check the monetization status, you name it. Just drag these here. Should be very, very simple, straightforward to use. The same thing goes for managing your media and ultimately updating your release notes here on this version tab. So now I'm going to go ahead and show you what it looks like to self-onboard as a new maker. Fill out my social medias here. Just going to add a few. And don't forget HTTPS. I'll then need to verify the support email that I entered. And next, since I plan on charging for some of my products, I'm going to go ahead and proceed with the Stripe account setup. This will ask you a few questions about yourself and ultimately verify who you are. So be sure to be as detailed as possible to avoid any delays when it comes to Stripe approval. They do review each application very thoroughly. Finally, it'll have you set up your bank account where your sales will ultimately get deposited to each day. Now I'll go ahead and update my profile picture for New Frontier, confirm that everything else here looks good. You also notice my Stripe status is set to restricted because Stripe hasn't approved my application just yet. But you can still upload and draft any new products while we wait for them to finish their review. And after that, my profile is ultimately set. Now back on my home view, you can see here I can easily access Maker documentation just in case I need to refer back to it. And then here you can ultimately see my new Maker profile that I just created in this dropdown. Next, let's go ahead and take a look at how I can manage one of my existing icon packs. So I think I'm going to review this weird gifts pack here just to make sure that my mom still thinks that my Stream Deck is weird. I can change my category that the icon pack appears in. I can edit my additional links or add new ones. And then as well as swapping out my media if I needed to. And I also want to verify that my media is in the correct order. So let's go ahead and compare it with what's currently live here on the marketplace. And yep, okay, awesome. Everything looks great. On this tab, I can also add a new version as well as the release notes for it. So as soon as it's approved by the Elgato team, anyone who has previously downloaded this will get the new update after the next time they restart Stream Deck. So yeah, let me put in some release notes. I'm going to go ahead and cancel this just so you can see how that's done. And this is what it currently looks like with what is live. Of course, I cannot edit this. Okay, next, let's go ahead and take a look at managing a Stream Deck profile. So this process is mostly the same, but let's just quickly run through it. And as I mentioned earlier, we can also do these filters here. So I'm going to go ahead and filter by the status of the product. So if I wanted to quickly see which ones are in draft mode, I can do so. This will be more helpful for makers with a large product catalog. Okay, now let's go ahead and switch over to the new Frontier Maker profile I created, and let's submit a new plugin for review. So when I upload my file here, you'll notice that the Maker console automatically performs validation on my manifest file just to make sure that everything looks good. And if not, it'll give you an error on what you need to fix before re-uploading. And it also pulled my plugin description. That's great. And then here for the type, again, this is where it will show up on the marketplace. And for the price, remember, if I want to charge for this plugin, I'll need to complete the Stripe onboarding step. But for now, let's just leave this one for free. Let me go ahead and add some sample media for my plugin. Double check that everything looks good before submitting. Oh, and let's add some release notes for the V1. Okay, nice. You can see that the product was saved, and now I can actually go in and make edits if needed. Let me just make sure that I added the correct plugin file to the version itself, just to be safe here. Okay, now that the product is marked as pending review, I'm gonna go sip on pina coladas by the beach while the Elgato team is checking it out. Okay, last but not least, let's upload a new icon pack as well. So you'll see here where the validations are also performed on my icon pack files. Description, that looks great. And let's go ahead and add a support link here just in case anyone has an issue they need to contact me for. And then let me add in some media. Let's just double check that everything looks good before submitting. Go ahead and add some release notes. This is all looking good. And yep, we're all set for review. I'm excited to announce that beta access for the Maker console is now live. We'll be sharing detailed instructions on how to access it right after this call so you can jump right in. And with that being said, we're eager to get your feedback as we continue to refine and improve the overall platform. And again, a big thank you to everyone who has provided feedback on both the Marketplace and the Maker console. Both of these represent our commitment to providing makers with the best tools possible to showcase your digital products to Elgato customers. And now I'd like to open the floor for any questions that you might have about the Maker console or of any of the exciting updates that my teammates have shared here today.